Priya from Good Chef, Bad Chef is here to make us the most delicious curry, a chickpea curry.
Yes, gosh, it's high pressure when you say the most delicious. I've already got my family watching and there's high pressure, so this is added. Thank you very much for that.
I always love to just throw you in there.
Yeah, perfect. Wonderful. Now, we're going to make this as a family favourite. This is my mum's recipe. Could you please dice the onion and chop the chilli for me?
Can
and
do.
I'm going to get started on the pot here.
Right.
I'm going to put in some olive oil and start with what we call the hard spices,
Yes.
which is mustard seeds and cumin seeds. So do you do much Indian cooking, Justine?
I do, but they just never taste as good as
when an Indian
yours.
makes it.
Exactly.
There you
exactly.
go. There you go.
And there are tips and tricks when you're making the perfect curry at home, and this is where you start, right?
Correct. Now, the thing I'm dangling around is pure gold, Justine. It's called a curry leaf.
Yeah.
And it is glorious stuff. And in Indian cooking, this is what adds flavour and gloriousness. So go hard on them. I'm going to do 2 sprigs.
Yeah.
I have got a curry leaf tree at my house.
love
If you
to do
touch
that.
it, I can become aggressive because they're hard to grow. Now, I'm going to show you the way my mum does the spices, okay? So you might throw your garam masala and turmeric into the pot. There's a real fear in my Indian brain and heart that I'm going to burn the spices. I've been conditioned to believe it's the worst thing that could ever happen.
Yep.
So what I've got in here is some microplane ginger and garlic, quite a bit of both because that's absolutely integral to Indian cooking.
Sure.
Garam masala goes in and then we put in some turmeric or what we call hardi, and this just adds a little bit of colour and it's good for you. Well, you know, Ayurvedic medicine says it's good for you. Now, here's my mum's trick. That's all in there and I just add a tiny bit of water and I mix it round. So my mum has basically done little adjustments to cooking, Indian cooking along the way because I'm a bit of a numpty. She's seen me burn the spices, she's seen all sorts of things and this is a way to avoid that.
Very good. I'm going to use that idea. I love that technique. Yes.
Do it. But when you're ready, Justine, chuck it in here and let's get this puppy going.
Okay.
Let's get those. Oh, you can start to smell the mustard seeds, the cumin. Wonderful. Okay. Gosh, she's like being with Richo. It's really lovely cooking. Make sure not to chop in front of you. Go for it.
Come on. I chop much better than Richo.
I love it. I'll tell him that. I'm going to tell him that straight away. Beautiful. So let's turn the heat up on here and really get this going. Beautiful. Can you smell the curry leaves? To me, that is the smell of home, of good Indian cooking. But this, for me, is just family, like cooking together. So I've thrown in that ginger, garlic, spice paste, and that's getting a little bit more aroma out of it. And now we're going to add in our glorious chickpeas, the hero of this.
Yes.
Full of fibre and protein and goodness.
Being the doctor, tell me the benefits of chickpeas.
Where do I begin? I need to hold them and hug them as I do this. But this counts in your veggie intake.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't realise that legumes, lentils, chickpeas counts in your veggie intake. So we're all aiming for 5 serves per day.
Right.
That is a lot of veggies right there.
And you can notice this is what they look like before you've soaked them. So, of course, you can use canned, but really I find there's nothing better than giving yourself a bit of head start. Do this the day before.
Agreed.
Pop these dried ones in lots of cold water. Let them sit there and you'll see that they double in size. Look at that, almost double in size.
They do. So you only need like a cup or 2 and you'll get this kind of quantity.
Yeah.
Canned chickpeas are wonderful and I use them all the time. Ideally rinse them so you get the salt off them from the fluid. But I use them for salads or if I'm making a hummus or something. But this works better for a curry because you want them to hold together nicely.
Yeah.
So these are pre-soaked overnight.
Yeah. Great tip. And they'll also absorb all of that beautiful curry base that we've started there.
Look at this. Look at the colours in that pot. That is Indian cooking. The turmeric, the spices, smells beautiful. Now, we're going to put some water in here. If you can just pour that. And you need quite a bit of water for chickpeas because, as you said, they're going to absorb it. So I'm going to leave this just simmering away gently for about 30 to 40 minutes. You want those chickpeas nice and soft.
Yes.
And meanwhile, we're going to make some rice and make a yoghurt dressing.
Fantastic. And for my rice, I'm going to be using some basmati rice and I'm using the absorption method. I just think it's the easiest way to do it. I mean, there's so many different ways, but for us, 1 cup of basmati rice to 1.5 cups of water.
Look at this. Doesn't it smell and look just beautiful? So I
Love
put
it.
some tomatoes in there. This is a family thing that we do. It adds a bit of sweetness, increases the veggie content.
Yes.
it's aesthetically pleasing. So my mum says to me, when you look at that dish, you should want to consume it, and that is the redness.
She's very wise, your mother, and I like how you didn't add them earlier because they would have just broken down. I like that pop of freshness at the end.
Yes, slightly blistered but not collapsing, as you say.
Yep.
We're going to whip up a little yogurt dressing here.
Okay.
So if you can do, you've got some grated cucumber there, some yogurt, a little bit of cumin and lemon juice, and it's like a raita.
Yes.
Now, the thing I love about raita is you can do this. Every family has a different raita. So you might put carrot, which I often do at home.
Ah.
Great way to get veggies into kids. If they like yogurt, great stuff, and put it in, reduce the cumin, make it work.
Yep.
But look at that. That goes with literally everything. Now, over here, I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in here.
Good. Yeah,
Yes.
You're a big advocate for not over-salting because just like sugar, you just want to balance it. You don't want to overdo it, right?
Correct. So I've just put a nice sprinkle of some good quality salt flakes, little bit of pepper. This is ready to go. Let's start putting this together. Oh my goodness, looks so good.
Okay.
So we've got our basmati rice, which is done. Now, any Indian dish needs plenty of rice. So basmati is actually really good for you. I don't know if you know this, but it's got kind of low GI, so it kind of releases the sugar content slowly, so it's quite good for you.
Great.
Great. You're just like, well, it's just delicious. Who cares? Just give it to me, Priya.
As long as it's delicious and if it's healthy on top of it, it's a double whammy.
It's a double win.
Yeah.
Now, Juz, this spoon is just not going to work. We need far more chickpea curry than what I'm getting. Beautiful, thank you. She's armed and ready. Look at this.
Yum.
I love the redness. So this for me is my mum will make this and put it in my fridge when I'm having a really busy week in the clinic. Yes. God bless her soul. She's a wonderful woman. Let's put that on there.
And I think it's really important to state here, we don't always need meat in our diet. You don't need the steak and 3 veg all the time. These chickpeas are going to keep you full. They are the replacement for the meat and you will not miss the meat.
I feel like you're the good chef here. It's like hearing myself talk. It's lovely. But, you know, reducing meat intake, really good for the planet, but also bowel cancer risk, heart disease risk. There's lots of benefits.
Spot on. And we're not saying just completely remove it from your diet. Balance it out.
Yeah, balance it out. Everything's good for you in moderation is my ethos. Let's do this. Now, that to me is a well-balanced meal. You've got the raita, the chickpea curry. Have a taste of that. Tell me what you think.
I would love to get those chickpeas in.
Thinking of my mum as I taste this. Beautiful balance of flavours is what I think. You've got the garam masala, the ginger, the garlic. That is a nourishing meal and so easy to make. Put that in the fridge for days and just eat it.
It's divine. We're going to go home, we're going to make a big batch of that, and I'll be eating that for weeks.
Perfect.